So we are here in Indianapolis, at the capital of the state of Indiana. We are about to provide service on behalf of the Cox family and the Hammock family for the crimes of deprivation of rights under color of law, conspiracy to deprive of rights, kidnapping, and other crimes as ascertainable by the evidence on the record. When a state chooses to enact its own alternative legislation and then substitutes it for the provisions and guarantees of the United States Constitution, that is a crime. It's called deprivation of rights under color of law. So we must get this addressed because the state of Indiana has chosen to charge by way of information, not by indictment, as required by Clause 1 of Amendment 5 to the United States Constitution. And that is, in fact, a crime, and it must be addressed. So there are currently hundreds of thousands of people who've been charged with or convicted of a crime by the state of Indiana without having an indictment by a grand jury first. And so we are going to deliver these criminal affidavits on behalf of two of the affected parties to enjoin the state of Indiana into the federal litigation that we have. And so this is state number 4 on our tour back around the country, serving the state Supreme Courts. Let's go do this.
Morning, may I help you?
Yeah, I have a delivery for the clerk.
Okay, I'll open the right-hand side.
Thank you so much. Good morning. So we have, are you a clerk of the court?
I'm a case manager.
Is one of the clerks available?
The clerk is not in the office. He's working remote today.
Is there any deputy clerks? I'm not sure on a case manager. Are you an agent of the court? Okay, then that's fine. So we have ongoing litigation, federal litigation that we are preparing to argue at the United States Supreme Court. So when you provide notice to the state of Indiana on behalf of the affected litigants here within the state, so we have evidence here that needs to be just handed off to the Supreme Court justices, preferably. We just need them to be aware. This is a notice. It's to make them aware so that we can hopefully resolve this issue without any further litigation. But you know, that's obviously up to the state to make that decision. So this is the evidence. Certificate of service is on the front. It provides direction. All of the affidavit information is contained within. It's very, very self-explanatory. Contact information is on the front page here. And so we're just, can I drop it off here? Okay. And could I get your name by chance, ma'am? Sherry? Okay, thank you so much. Do you have any questions?
I probably will. Yeah.
Okay.
So what are you expecting to be done with these documents, sir?
So the justices need to be made aware. The judicial officers need to be made aware so that they can determine, hopefully direct the judges and the judicial officers within the state to act in an appropriate, lawful, and constitutional manner. That's what we're hoping to have resolved from this without any further litigation. That's really our hope. But they need to be made aware of the criminal conspiracy by and between the agents of the state. It's all detailed right there. It's very, very clear, very, very simple. And so we just need to provide this notice to them, and hopefully we can get corrective action without any further litigation. Of course, the case that we have is against the state of Washington. They've decided to act in obstinance to the United States Constitution. So we are going to have to address them, but we hope that we won't have to do that with the state of Indiana. Hopefully we'll be able to read that, understand, have it be clear, and then we can direct judicial officers to act in an appropriate manner with regard to the charging instrument that's necessary and constitutionally required in accordance with Clause 1 of Amendment 5 to the United States Constitution.
So is there a lower court case that you're having issue with?
No, because the state of Indiana, we haven't brought a case in Indiana because the case is actually against the state of Washington at the United States Supreme Court. So, but because the state of Indiana is operating and functioning in a similar manner, then we need to enjoin the state of Indiana so that should Indiana not correct its acts, then we would have to then being enjoined already, then we would be able to provide relief to the persons within the state of Indiana.
Who is we?
Our team, the litigation team.
And your litigation team is representing whom?
Well, this is a petitioner within the state of Indiana. We are representing the case out of the state of Washington, Downing versus Washington. Now we don't need any anything back. We just need to know that this has been dropped off with an agent of the state, and so that's all we need.
Right, I just want to make sure that this is something that actually needs to be filed in this office, put into this office.
Okay. So we've already provided notice to the Attorney General. We did that on April 6th of this year. So now we have to notify the judicial officers within the state. This is just the course of action. So it doesn't go anywhere. It needs to go to the highest judicial officer, so the highest judicial officer can make a determination as to how to proceed with the state in accordance with the Constitution or in conflict with.
Right, but if you're wanting this to be an original action or something of that nature.
Oh no, this is no action. This is just a notice of a criminal conspiracy. Those are criminal affidavits. This is the enforcement of the law. So we have to bring it to the highest judicial officer's attention that there is a crime that's being committed by agents of the court's branch. So that's what this is. This is a criminal affidavit. It's not an original action. We're not filing anything. There's no case that needs to be brought. This is being made aware. So with regard to the laws of criminal conspiracy,
A law firm here in the state of Indiana?
no, we're out of DC.
And you are? Do you have a card?
No, my contact information is right there. I don't provide cards.
As in, you're Mr. Downey?
I'm Tanawah Downey. Yes, that's correct. Yes. And so they're more than welcome to contact me. I am the primary litigator.
If you're a litigator, do you have an attorney's information?
No.
So you don't have a law degree?
I have a law degree, but it's not a Juris Doctorate. No, I have a degree in enforcement, substantive law, which is the exact opposite of a Juris Doctorate. So I enforce the law, and that's what my law degree is.
I will leave this in the office for the clerk, and he can do it as it needs to be done.
Awesome. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you. Service been provided on behalf of the Cox and Hammock family, state of Indiana, here in Indianapolis, Indiana. On to the next site. Thank you so much. God bless. Moments ago, we provided service on behalf of the Cox and Hammock family here in the state of Indiana to the Indiana State Supreme Court. When a state chooses to enact its own alternative legislation and then substitutes it for the provision that guarantees the United States Constitution, that would be an unconstitutional act. When the state directs its agents, being the prosecuting attorneys, then to enforce an inferior state statute in violation of the United States Constitution, that is a crime. It's called deprivation of rights under color of law, Title 18, subsection 242, which states any person who, under the color of any state statute, ordinance, custom, or regulation, deprives any person of any rights secured by the Constitution, commits that crime. Once that prosecuting attorney then uses the incorrect charging instrument to charge a person with a crime in violation of the United States Constitution by charging by way of information, not by indictment by a grand jury, as required by Clause 1 of Amendment 5 to the United States Constitution, and then hands that off to a judge, and that judge then signs that order without ensuring that the proper charging instrument is in place, that judicial officer has then established a conspiracy by and between the prosecuting attorney and himself. Title 18, subsection 241, conspiracy to deprive of rights. When that judge then hands that order for arrest off to an officer and asks that officer to go out and perform an arrest without having the proper charging instrument in place, that officer has the duty and responsibility to ensure that the power he exercises is consistent with his authority. If he chooses to exercise his power based upon someone else's abuse of power, then the power he exercises is no power at all, and he is then implicated within the criminal conspiracy due to his negligence. Once they make the arrest without the proper charging instrument and the proper documentation in place, then the crime of kidnapping has occurred, and it is a federal crime because the victim is being held for ransom in the form of bail. This is a very significant situation that's happening all across this country, including here in the state of Indiana. So, having provided notice to the Supreme Court of the state of Indiana, we now challenge them to step up, discharge the duties of their office, fulfill the promise they made to the people of the state of Indiana, and hold criminals accountable for the crimes they commit against the people of the state of Indiana. If you choose to be negligent and do nothing as a result of this, then you will be added as a defendant in the action, because the laws of conspiracy clearly state any person who, having knowledge of any of the wrongs conspired to be done, and who have the power to prevent or aid in the prevention of the commission of the same, neglects or refuses to do so, may be joined as defendants in the action. As of this moment, today, the judicial officers here in the state of Indiana are criminals because they are acting unlawfully in violation of laws of the United States of America and the promises that they made to the people of the state of Indiana. So therefore, once again, we challenge you, step up, do your job, hold criminals accountable for the crimes they commit against the people of the state of Indiana in violation of laws of the United States of America. God bless you. Thank you, and have a great day.